So, a few months ago, I started making a game called Retrieve. The idea is pretty simple. You control a bomb disposal robot that gets sent into an evacuated office building at night. Your job is to explore, solve puzzles, uncover what happened, and figure out how to stop the bomb before time runs out. And once I had that idea, I immediately got to work. The only problem was I had very little experience making games. I spent a lot of time teaching myself how game development actually works. I bought a computer, downloaded Unity, opened Blender, and very quickly realized that I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. And honestly, things were a little rough at the start. At first, I started getting nervous. There are so many games out there, so I kept asking myself, how is mine going to stand out? Then I had an idea.
I have an idea!
Explosions are cool. Puzzles are fun. So I just needed a way to combine the two. But I also needed someone to bounce ideas off of, and probably someone who knew more about coding than I did. That's where Tanner came in. Tanner and I have been friends for years. We actually made a lot of videos together back in high school. So if you're ever curious what we looked like back then, those videos are out there somewhere. So I texted Tanner and we found a time to work together. This is Tanner, by the way. For this project, we decided to use Unity as the game engine and Blender to create the character, props, and some of the visual effects in the game. With those tools, and with Tanner's help, we were basically the dream team. So this is me. Oh, why is there... I can't do this with one hand. And then if I come over here... Oh, look at that. It's a box. Oh, hi there, little box. Yeet! Bonus Pop-Tart footage.
Oh, yay.
Designing the main character was way harder than I expected. At first, I was thinking the player would be a bomb disposal agent, like an actual person. But that was a huge problem. We had no idea how to make a good human character. Then, Tanner pointed something out. We don't actually need the player to be a person. The player could be the bomb disposal robot itself. And honestly, that solved everything. It combined the technology, the puzzles, the bomb disposal theme, and it let us avoid making a human character because, again, we had no idea how to do that. Plus, robots are just cool. So with my very limited knowledge of Blender, I went ahead and made the first robot model. Then I made the second one. And slowly the idea started becoming real. But before we could get too far, we had to deal with some bigger problems. Like my computer randomly shutting down. And after hours of trying to find out what was wrong, I finally realized the HDMI cable was plugged into the motherboard instead of the graphics card. So feeling like an idiot, I considered giving up. But then I remembered those encouraging words.
I don't know how they do things down in Juarez, but here in Idaho we have a little something called pride.
So it was back to the grind. Even though my back hurt, and even though we kept running into problem after problem, we kept going. I knew there had to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and eventually things started to click. I started figuring out Blender. We found better ways to build the robot. The model started improving and the game started looking better, and then finally, for a moment, it felt like we were actually on track to make a great game. And then the Fire Nation attacked. What even is Steam? Luckily, I teamed up with Desert Star Games, who became the publisher for the game. They brought a lot to the table, and getting this far honestly would not have been possible without them. Chase and Kylie, my brother and sister-in-law, started making games during the pandemic, and I've played some of their board games before, and let me tell you, they are really fun. Having a publisher like them lets me focus more on perfecting my product, while they helped with things like the distribution, marketing, and eventually getting the game ready for launch on Steam. Chase also helped me with the writing and gave me the idea to have multiple endings in the game. I'm not going to give those away though, that's why they're blurred out. You'll just have to find out for yourself when the game comes out. At this point, we were finally able to lock down the feel of the game. The vibe we're going for is like this tense, atmospheric robot puzzle game with mystery, dark office humor, and the multiple endings. Next up was the music. Eliza O'Connor composed the music for the game, and oh my goodness, she is talented. I sent her some inspiration from things like Severance, the Metroid pause menu music, and one of my favorite games, Detroit Become Human.
28 stab wounds.
And here's the craziest part. We sent her this small piano sample for the title screen music, and she turned it into this. Just listen. There is still so much more about this game that I haven't even shared yet. There are Easter eggs, multiple endings, the robot model, behind the scenes work on the levels, the music, the puzzles themselves, the Steam page, and a lot more. So this is just the beginning. The game isn't finished yet, and I really want to use the best possible ideas to make it better. So if you have feedback, ideas, or something you'd want to see in the game, leave a comment. There's a real chance it could make it into the final version. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next devlog.